In Rebels, we saw the return of Bo Katan helping Sabine Wren in the quest to protect Mandalore and ultimately save all Mandalorian clans, including those loyal to the Empire, and reunite them into one clan. In the process, Sabine Wren, the holder of the Darksaber at that time, which is before New Hope, had to pass down the Darksaber to a good leader to rule Mandalore, but that was a mistake. The result in passing down the Darksaber instead of hand-to-hand combat to Bo Katan, the Empire got hold of it. And in the Mandalorian finale, unlike in Rebels, Bo Katan didn't accept the Darksaber, but wanted to fight Din Djarin for it. Today I'll be going over why Bo Katan accepted the Darksaber in Rebels, but not in the Mandalorian. So, Sabine Wren acquired the Darksaber by defeating a Mandalorian loyal to the Empire called Gar Saxon in Rebels in hand-to-hand combat. After this, we saw Kanan teach Sabine Wren how to wield it, and later figured out that she had to pass down the Darksaber to a better leader, which is why she acquired the Darksaber, and she kind of thought that it was the destiny for the Darksaber. She picked Bo Katan, and from there, we never saw an encounter or a reference or anything with Bo Katan and the Darksaber again until the Mandalorian. So basically, Bo Katan didn't fight to the death for the Darksaber. She was simply handed down the Darksaber. But what they didn't know, or what Bo Katan didn't know about the Darksaber in Rebels when she was first gifted to it, was that if you don't basically win over the Darksaber, then as Moff Gideon says, you're a pretender. So because Bo Katan didn't kill Sabine Wren for the Darksaber, but instead Sabine Wren handed the Darksaber to Bo Katan, the power of the Darksaber didn't work. She was, from that moment, a pretender to the throne, as Moff Gideon puts it. If she were to fight someone for the Darksaber, the power from the Darksaber wouldn't work, so then she would lose, and that is basically how Moff Gideon came into possession of the Darksaber. He challenged her, or might have just randomly fought her, to a fight to the death for the Darksaber, and since Bo Katan didn't have the energy from the Darksaber, since she didn't technically win the Darksaber, Moff Gideon defeated her so easily, and obtained the Darksaber from her easily. So because of this, Bo Katan knew that from the moment she was defeated for the Darksaber and Moff Gideon came into possession of it, because she didn't have the powers from the Darksaber, she knew that in the Mandalorian, if she took the Darksaber from Mando without fighting him and just accepting the Darksaber, she would not be able to wield the Darksaber properly, and she would basically be a pretender to the throne if she were to go on to rule over Mandalore. Basically, Bo Katan took the Darksaber from Sabine Wren in Rebels because she didn't know what the powers of the Darksaber were. She didn't know that you had to fight to the death to get the energy and the power from the Darksabers. She was kind of like Mando in The Mandalorian, knowing nothing of the Darksaber, although she did see Pre Vizsla wield it during the Clone Wars and Maul kill Pre Vizsla. She didn't know anything of its power. She didn't know in Rebels that if she just takes it, the energy from the Darksaber wouldn't work, which, again, is why Moff Gideon was able to defeat her so easily for the Darksaber, because she didn't really have her powers or the power of the Darksaber. We don't know yet exactly how Moff Gideon obtained it, like how he fought, where he fought, but we do know that Bo Katan didn't have the energy from the Darksaber. She was a pretender, so that way Moff Gideon was to defeat her easily. That's why Bo Katan took the Darksaber in Rebels and not in The Mandalorian. I can't wait for what Season 3 has in store for us. If Bo Katan and Din will fight for the Darksaber, or they will just both go their separate ways, I would prefer that they would fight. It would be a crazy battle if they were to fight. Thanks for watching if you've gotten this far, and may the Force be with you.